Hey, how's everyone doing? I had the wrong link up, and so people probably couldn't find the Kahoot. That's not good. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Who's all here? Turn down the music a little bit here. Hopefully we have some people. We can go through the Kahoot today. I'm going to display the code live. We have 2 people watching. Hey, Victoria. How you doing? I just sent out the link, so we should have... We're only doing a 201 Kahoot today. I had this as an unlisted video. Yeah, no, I'm so sorry. Might be small competition today. I've been working on... Hey, Nikki, good to see you here. I'm so sorry, Andrew. Let me bring Mubot back. Let me bring Mubot. Mubot, are you here? Mubot is here. I had the stream loaded up, and then I was like, wait a minute. Oh, that's one of my favorite quotes. But if we're all outliers, then we wouldn't be outliers anymore. I love that quote. Classic quote from 201. Oh, Victoria, that's awesome. Let's put the code out there. Let's see how many people we have watching. I'm so glad to hear that. That really makes my day. It is, I think it's tons of fun to play Kahoot. We're just going to put the code straight out there today. We're going to give it a shot. If it fails horribly, then we're going to redo it. It works as long as we don't have people trying to crash the Kahoot. It's a bummer that happens, but it's really funny. If you watch the first Kahoot I ever did, people crashed it. First Kahoot. I learned what crashing a Kahoot was. You'll watch me like looking at the screen. I'll be like, why are there hundreds of people joining? What's going on here? Noble Dragon first. An elated lizard. We're going to do a lot of good review of Decision Tree today, so I'm also going to promote this video. So if you're watching this now, we do a weekly Kahoot. A lot of times we do 2 of them. Sorry, 32474. I'm going to make some videos after this. I'm going to get to work on those videos. We got Rick and Morty here. Morty's disappearing because he's got some green on him, apparently. We'll wait another few minutes here. No one's crashed in our Kahoot, which is always a good thing. But this will be a really good review of Decision Trees. And as always, some of the questions here could be on your Canvas content quiz. So this is really good practice for your Canvas content quiz. We'll get started in about 3 minutes. 3 minutes. 3 minutes. I wish I had a 3-minute countdown. But how's everyone doing on this Friday? How is everybody doing? Good to see you, Alexandra. Almost well above 2,000, getting really close to 3,000 right there. Silver tier. There's 5 different tiers. Good to see you. Good to see you, Victoria. What's up, Andrew? Andrew. There's only a few competitors today. You jump in, you could win. You could win the Kahoot. About to restart the music here. Let's see. Ready for Vols to win tomorrow? Who are we playing tomorrow? I'm so lame when it comes to keeping track. I went and turned in my voter registration today so I can vote. I voted in some local elections and off-year elections. That's also important right there, to vote in local and off-year elections. Local impacts you a lot. So, but I voted every 4 years consistently, but you should then try to vote, during the other years too. There's important stuff going on. So vote often, as in vote every year when you can vote, and vote for what's important to you. I always support people voting no matter how they're voting. I always mess it up, never gonna happen. No, Andrew. Person number 10 joins and we start the game. I'm gonna put the 1-minute countdown clock on. 1-minute countdown is on. But if you haven't registered to vote, go register to vote. Oh, we lost somebody. Who'd we lose? Who'd we lose? Not Noble Dragon. Noble Dragon, you were first. Noble Dragon's got my vote for the win. We're gonna be starting here in 40 seconds. 40 seconds start till the Kahoot. You guys should be hearing the music. We got Alex here, Victoria. I know. Victoria, that's so nice of you. You're like, Andrew, come on. Got a shot at this. 8 people. Don't root for Noble Dragon. Who should we root for, Alex? Noble and Golden Dragon. And Royal Meerkat. We'll be starting here in 14 seconds. Countdown's almost there. Oh, that's the noise I heard. I was doing some work and I heard bling, 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 bling. I don't know. You might hear it across my computer now. 10 people. Tell me if you hear this noise. I don't know if you heard that. But if you did, that is my sound that we're starting. It played across the computer, so you probably did hear it because I've got the computer sound coming through. I was Purple Hamster on the test review Kahoot, and every time you cheered me on, I panicked. No! Noble Dragon, I will not be cheering you on. So let's cheer for Classy Sea Lion. They're classy. You gotta cheer for them. If you are person number 10 who just dropped out, join in real quick because we're starting in 5 seconds. We are Yes, Calzone, you gonna jump in? Calzone, you jumping in? 5 seconds here left. Calzone, the legend, who has more points than Andrew. Andrew and Calzone. Wait. Okay, we'll wait here a moment. Witty Bunny. That's here. We gotta see Witty Bunny. Oh, wait, here we go. Here's Witty Bunny. There's Morty. We're back from that short commercial break. I think Rocky tops in 11 competitors. Who's going to win? Here we go. Let's do this. Let's go to the main screen here. Okay. What split is the most significant in trees? So when you make a tree... Oh no, I hope everything's working. What split is the most significant? They even changed the font size. The fonts are bigger now. So think about this. When you make a tree, one of them is going to guide the whole tree in what happens. So one of these splits is basically going to guide the entire tree. For the rest of the tree, it'll be controlled by... And they really did change font sizes. The rest of the tree will be controlled by the first split. No, that's all right. The first split is the most important because it basically controls where the rest of the tree goes. I don't think I said that during lecture, so I made sure to put it in the Kahoot. But the first split, I mean, you could theorize, but the first split is the most important because it controls the way the tree goes. From here, this is the first split right here. The remaining splits are contained within because here's the people who were born in Tennessee, and then this is splitting them further, and here's the people not born in Tennessee, and here's splitting them further. For later questions, this is the distribution of the Y variable, and this is the percent of people who are registered to vote. This whole quiz is over this decision tree, which is much like your assignment that's going to be due. So I think it's the color. Oh, I'm so sorry, Andrew. That's red and that's blue right there. And we have here the people who are not registered to vote and the people who are registered to vote. So we can see the differences among that right there. Good to see you here, Gavin. Gavin with a ton of points right there. Let's go to the next question. Who's in the lead? Oh, there were 5 people. Golden Dragon. Golden Dragon, Witty Bunny on the leaderboard. Let's see right here. Who's got the next one? What should not be included in a decision tree? Now, people know this pretty quickly. They changed the question size. I got to go up here. I used to be able to hide away and not block the answers. Well, that's a bummer. I'm going small. There we go. Because of the change to the question size. Yes. I love seeing this right here. I love seeing all the correct answers immediately. Tiny Brian. This is Medium Brian right here. I've got my Rick shirt on, so I could just do my Tiny Brian. So things that act like identifiers or real identifiers should not be included. Which one did you talk about? You talked about decision trees. Decision trees are very important. They're very easy to make, and you can just ask it to sort through all the variables and make decisions and do this right here. Decisions, yeah. Decision trees are super important. And so, boom, we don't want to include identifiers or things that act like identifiers. What would be something that acts like an identifier? Who in the chat can explain? Because someone's probably going to be watching this video later and be like, what's a thing that acts like an identifier? It'd be this type of variable that has a ton of this. And so, Gavin, you might know the words. Like in R, we would say a factor that has like pie flavors. That's a classic one we do right there. Pie flavors. And then, so that'd be a categorical variable that has a ton of answers people could give to it. So ice cream flavors, you guys made me so hungry. So basically anything that has a ton of answers where someone could say Rocky Road, vanilla chip, all these things right here. Vanilla chip, sure, that exists. Area codes, maybe. Good thoughts right there, Andrew. Area codes would be categorical. It just depends on how many there are. Like if you only ask UT students, you might only get like 8 area codes, but as soon as you get like 20, Hint, hint, hint for the quiz. As soon as you get like 20 or something, that's probably too many. Favorite animal or something like that. You might get people saying like a coatimundi. Coatimundis are awesome. But as soon as there's so many levels that it starts to create identifiers almost, then that's too many levels. And it doesn't work with decision trees so well. And who's in the lead? Oh man, is there anywhere I can go that I will not block everything? What is going on? I don't like when my things act all crazy. Oh, that's grabbing that. I probably just moved 10 things. There we go. Here I am. Cool. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to try not to block the screen. Golden Dragon's still in the lead with Adorable Fox. Question number 3. After each split, the value of R squared will go what? Now this one I think should be pretty obvious. The value of R squared after every single split will do this. Could it increase or decrease? Could it increase? Stay the same? Could it decrease? What do X's like to do? This is the way to remember it. X's like to what? X's like to explain. And R squared is the percent of variation we've explained. So when we have X's explaining, R squared will always go up. So because X's explain, R squared goes up. So when you think of what R squared is, it's the percent of variation in Y explained by the variation in the tree. We do say X if it's a regression model, or X's if you're doing multiple regression, but we're saying the percent of variation in Y is explained by the variation in the tree. And so every time we put in another split, we increase the size of the tree. So as this tree grows, the R squared will always go up. The R squared cannot go down. We've done a lot of theoretical questions on this, but if you know every time you split the tree, you're adding a new X split, then you know the R squared goes up. Great job on this so far. These are questions that could appear on your Canvas content. Oh, shake up of the leaderboard. Blue Squid on fire. There's only 3 people with a perfect streak right now. Will this continue? Blue Squid didn't answer super quickly, but's been getting them all correct along with Soaring Frog. I'm not going to say a certain name on the game. Interpret R squared. We did this earlier. Now, if you remember, I drop answers in here. So be listening up when I give answers like blank percent. That's part of the hint. So you should be between 2 now if you heard blank percent. Blank percent of the variation in what? Blank percent of the variation in what? I know it's quick, 30 seconds. Click, 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 click. Click quick. Blank percent of the variation in Y is explained by the variables in the tree. So explained by the tree, that's good enough. The variation in the tree, the variables in the tree. It's just that we're trying to explain voting, which is the Y variable, and all these have totally different. This is like a slope. These are just me coming up with wrong answers. So don't worry if you did a slope interpretation. That's all right. Oh yeah, other people picked the slope. That's fine. Slope interpretation, don't worry. But what we're talking about is we're trying to explain whether or not people are registered voters. And when people are registered voters, the tree is going to explain the variation. Now, I can't make this more clear. Look here at this larger portion. These are the people who are registered to vote. These are the people who are not registered to vote. And the people in Tennessee were more registered to vote than the people not born in Tennessee. And over here, the people with higher high school GPAs born in Tennessee had the highest registration to vote, where the people who were not born in Tennessee who weighed under 182 were less likely to be registered to vote. So who knows what's going on here, but you see the differences in the proportion of the Y variable right here. These are how many people are in each sleeve. That is the, okay, so I know exactly what it is. That is the Gini index, which is a measure of impurity, and the log worth is actually the p-value. It's actually a log of the p-value, and the Gini index tells us how impure these are. So if you look at and what impurity means, so we actually get into this in 474. Look at this one right here, how this has less red and more blue, and it's also weighted by sample size. But notice how this has a lower Gini index, and then right here, this 342 is higher, and then this 344 is also higher. It's due to the impurity. The larger the amount of the blue and the red. If you could get one that was completely, you'd have the lowest possible Gini index. So don't worry so much about the Gini index right here, but that is just how impure it is. And don't worry about the log worth. That's the p-value of the split. So actually this split here is not statistically significant. Do not worry about that. You do not need no Gini index or log worth, but really good question right there, Victoria. It just tells us if the split is statistically significant. And if you're wondering what I'm doing right here, I might have to show it in R. Let me think. 2 seconds. Class is not over. 2 seconds. Okay. 2 seconds. Okay. Here we go. So when you have a log worth of 2, what's really going on right here is it's doing 10 raised to the negative 2. So the p-value is this. So I saw one that had a log worth of negative 3, and so the p-value, and that was this one right here, the p-value for this one right there is going to be about 0.0001. This one has a log worth of 0.66, and so if you plug that into this, see, why don't they just show the p-value? So that's the p-value right there. So that split is not statistically significant. So the log worth is a negative log 10 of the p-value. So don't worry about it. We'll never ask you a question on log worth. We'll never ask you a question on Gini index. But it's how we do a lot of the larger calculations. This split is statistically significant, though. So great job. Really great questions, Victoria. Victoria, 1,000 points. Thank you for asking advanced questions. I love it. Oh my gosh, Golden Dragon lost the lead. Looks like they still got some points. Blue Squid jumping into the lead. It's like an inkling right there. True or false? A decision tree uses multiple X's. Does a decision tree... There's a hint on the screen. I actually made the decision tree. This is the decision tree you're seeing. And this is not a trick question. This is not a trick question. I'm hoping everyone gets it right. As long as I put the right answer. Good job. Don't worry if you got it wrong. Don't worry. You can see here that the decision tree uses one Y. Hint for the next question. And the decision tree uses multiple X's. So the decision tree uses, that's the point of the decision tree, that it looks through these X's for you and it finds out what the relationships are with the Y variable. So it sifts through all of these down here and finds out how it's related to the Y variable. It's really cool that it like looks through everything and finds out which variable is the most related to the Y variable. So who's in the lead now? Oh, that leaderboard is tight right here. We got 2 people neck and neck in the lead. Don't worry though. Who's going to win? True or false? A decision tree uses multiple Y's. You got this, Nikki. A decision tree uses multiple Y's. I keep hoping I put the right answer. Correct, false. And look at the graphic right here. There's only one Y variable right here. So you're predicting a singular Y variable. You could make multiple decision trees, but a decision tree predicts one Y variable and then uses multiple X's. So important that we know a decision tree uses one Y variable and multiple X's. What does this mean right here? 1,000 points first person, bonus points of the week. What does this mean right here? What does that mean? Anyone know what that means? What is it telling me about registered to vote with this right here? I mean, this one's blue. This one's red. Categorical, nice job, Alexandra, right there, 1,000 points, and Harrison. So quantitative would be the blue ones. Height and weight are quantitative, and if it's red, it's categorical. So we can identify jump as kind of showing us which one's categorical, which one's quantitative. 1,000 points, everybody. Great answers in the chat. And so good to have everyone here. I'm glad this, like... No, that's all right, Harrison. I'm so glad to have everyone here. It really makes my day that people show up to this because, I don't know, it's just a review. And, oh, Noble Drag. Oh, my gosh. This is going to be a tight game. Oh, my gosh. There's a 36-point difference. Who's going to win? Blue Squid. Can they hold on to it? How many people born in Tennessee are not registered to vote? How many people born in Tennessee are not registered to vote? I'm going to remain quiet. The next one's even harder, I think. You have to look at who's born in Tennessee and who's not registered to vote. I should put 60 seconds on this one. Good job. Good job. This is a pretty tough question. How did people do it? Does everyone notice this is born in Tennessee? Yes. Born in Tennessee? Yes. Born in Tennessee? No. Born in Tennessee? No. Does that make sense? So which of these leaves? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Nice job, Andrew. Andrew put the answers in chat. Great work, Andrew. I appreciate that. 1,000 points, Andrew, right there. What leaves would we be looking at here? Leaf 1, 2, 3, or 4? Which leaves are important to us? Because this is going to be very... I should have put 60 seconds on the next one. There's an even harder one coming up. Which leaves should we be looking at? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Leaf 1, 2, 3, because we want the people born in Tennessee, 1 and 2. Yep, so we want to look at leaves 1 and 2. And then what does this no and yes mean right here? This is the distribution of the what variable. This no and this yes is the distribution of the what variable. So when you see no here and yes here, this is the distribution of what variable every time. That's always the distribution of this certain variable. When you see that right there, you'd be like, oh, that's the answers for the what question. Oh, wait, the y. So the x's are here, and then the y is over here. This is where the y is at, and these are the x's. Like born in Tennessee and final high school GPA, born in Tennessee and weight are what explains if somebody is registered to vote. So we have registered to vote right here, yes and no. And so those are what that's what we're trying to explain. We're trying to explain if somebody's registered to vote yes, or if someone's registered to vote no. So these 40 people are not registered to vote. They are born in Tennessee and have a GPA greater than or equal to 3.83. And these 73 people are born in Tennessee and have a final high school GPA of 3.83 or less. Now, here's a tougher question, and get ready because it's going to help you for the next one. What percent of people born in Tennessee are not registered to vote? That's not going to be the next question. It'll be similar. But what percent of people not born in Tennessee would, oh my gosh, that's the next question. What percent of people born in Tennessee are not registered to vote? What percent of people born in Tennessee are not registered to vote? According to this decision tree. What percent of people born in Tennessee are not registered to vote? And I'll have to solve the answer too. So be trying to solve the answer. What percent of people born in Tennessee are not registered to vote? So I'm going to try to solve it right here while you solve it. We're just doing the percent for this question. Okay. Okay, I have the answer. Yep, it's right at that. Victoria, you're right. Here's the decimal. Great job. Yep, it's probably what everyone got. So the answer is we have to add up all these numbers right here. Does everyone see this? All of these numbers there. And let me grab it. Let's take a picture of it and show. Because these are definitely the questions that stump people. These questions right here, people get to and they say, I got no idea. So this is the y variable. These are all the x's. And we're interested specifically in this. This is what we're interested in. So we need to take and add up 40 plus 73 over 40 plus 73 plus 238 plus 244. Because we're seeing how many people are registered to vote out of this total. Not registered to vote, excuse me. How many people are not registered to vote out of this total? And I think that's 113 over 595. So try working this problem right here, but you're seeing how many people are not registered to vote out of the born in Tennessee group. Does this make sense to everybody? What we did right here is we looked at for the people born in Tennessee, what percent of them are not registered to vote. So we had to get the total of the people born in Tennessee and the total that are not registered to vote. So that relates to this one, and that relates to this one right here. That's the total for the whole thing. And then the top one is within it, what percent are not registered to vote. And so is everyone following? Hopefully this makes sense. These are some of the tougher questions right here, and knowing what the output shows you is key. So I think we're doing pretty good. And only a few answers on that one. Let's see if we can get higher answers on the next one. You ready? Ooh, shake up of the leaderboard. Blue Squid, I'm sorry, and Golden Dragon, no. Let's do this. 3 more questions. Wow. What 2 variables can decision trees analyze? What 2 types of variables do decision trees analyze? They really made the font so much bigger. They don't expect you to be streaming this. This is your revival question. This is your, I can get this question right, I got this. Boom, nice job. Everyone got that. Categorical and quantitative, it does not analyze things that are identifiers or things that act like identifiers. Adorable fox. I want a fox as a pet, but they're loud, they're crazy, but they're cute. Question number 9. What percent of people not born in Tennessee are not registered to vote? Oh no, it's 20 seconds. Oh God, what did I do? You are a master if you get this. Did I do the math correctly? I think I did the math wrong. Did I? I think I did the math wrong. I think I did the math wrong. I think... Let me double check my math. I think I did what % are registered to vote. Oh my gosh, Charlie, that is my fault. We'll see who got that. I know. I'm sorry, everybody. That is Brian. So that is... You got it, Andrew. Good. That was Andrew's revival question. That's an F for Brian in the chat. So it should be, what % of people not born in Tennessee are not registered to vote? It should be 7 plus 95. Because everyone see we're looking at this right here. It's 31. It's going to be right. Yeah, because I did the other side of it. So then we go 7 plus 95 plus 54 plus 169. And that's 325. There it is right there. Yeah. Well, I think Andrew's the only one who got it. That's the streak destroyer right there. No wonder everyone was pausing. Andrew was the only one who got it. That's kind of good because now the game's tied up, or it didn't change the leaderboard. So very sorry about that. This is just Brian thinking knots and yeses. Very sorry. I need to fix... I like when the leaderboard doesn't move. Okay, this is the last question. And it's a neck-and-neck race between Soaring Frog, Blue Squid, Noble Dragon. Golden Fox could possibly win. So be ready. Who's ready right now? This is the last question. Who is ready? Who is ready? Who's ready? And I will have Victoria, you got this? I want to know who wins. I want to know who wins. You ready, Nikki? Sorry about that last question. Sorry about that last one right there. I just did it. Meg, you ready? We got this. Let's do this. You ready? The highlighted portion of the graphic is the what? A lot of people ask me this. They say, I don't know what this is. They say, I don't know what is this showing me right here? It's showing you the % of registered voters. So what is that? Ooh, only a few answers. A lot of people don't know what it is. The p-value is on here. The p-value is the log worth. Great job. The distribution of the y variable. The distribution of the y variable. This was a neck and neck game, and this was super good. This was Kahoot All-Stars today. This was pretty crazy, and I'll be releasing a video later. Oh, Nikki, I'm so glad it was very fun. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear people having fun. People were telling me this is like, I look forward to this. I'm so glad to hear it. We had so many people. Who used the Kahoot to study for the test? Before we go to the award ceremony, did anyone use... See you, Nikki. Great job. Did anyone use the Kahoot to study for the test, or who felt like they were successful on the test and what was their strategies? Because I feel like we have the Kahoot All-Stars here. Join late, so I didn't get the join code. Oh no, I'm sorry, Charlie. Yes, I did. And so I want to make sure Kahoots are the bomb. Thank you, Harrison. And so hopefully I'm trying to, I wish I could send things to all Stat 1 sections. Thank you, Victoria. And did people feel pretty good about how they did on the test? Helped you learn a lot? Awesome. And I try to make those longer. I think, man, this week's been a crazy week. It's been so busy. I write notes during the hoots. Alexandra, good option, good ideas right there. I'm always, if you notice, who's had a pretty easy time with the Canvas content quizzes? Like, the goal of what I'm doing with these Kahoots is we basically cover the Canvas content quiz. So I just went to every Kahoot on Fridays and took notes. I did not rewatch the videos though. Yeah, and if you did well on the test, that's awesome, Victoria. That's great. So I'm very proud of everyone. We as a class we did amazingly well. I know some people had lower grades than they wanted, but overall the class did really great. An 80 average. Very, very pleased with that. Why is my computer acting so weird these days? The Kahoots are usually wink, wink, nudge, nudge to us on the quizzes. Yeah, exactly, Alex. It's like, hey, just so you know, this is very important and you should know it. This question right here, watch how I solve it. Can we see what we got wrong now? I think I'll release that tonight. I think I'll send out an announcement and we'll do that so you'll be able to see the questions. If you have anything you disagree with, please tell us. Like if you put in a decimal or something and it didn't accept it, I'll fix it because just in case something was really close. But you know what? Let's see who won right here. I don't know if it's told you who won yet. Who won? Third place. Noble Dragon. Alex, I think it's Alex. Great job. Blue Squid. Does that mean Golden Dragon's number one? Or who was it? It wasn't. It was. Who was it? Soaring Frog. Awesome work. Agent. We didn't see Agent. Agent what? What is that? An Elegant Lizard, I think it is. You were Blue Squid. Excellent job, Victoria. Excellent job. And this was really tough competition today. I think the only question you missed was the one I messed up. And sorry, Soaring Frog too. I think Soaring Frog and Blue Squid, the only question that was missed was the one I made a mistake on, which makes me feel all right. You would have been 10 out of 10, and that one had way too little time. I think I was just trying to get the last few questions in. I'm just slow on answering. No, I think you get a streak bonus for answering, and I probably killed off some people's streaks. But I'm glad Soaring Frog and Blue Squid, since Andrew said he was the only one who got that right, it was neck and neck, and I didn't kill anyone's streak at the end. So it was amazing work. Really great job. If you were Soaring Frog, make sure to email me. And really congratulations. Great work. Next week we will be doing, I think at 2-1 we'll be doing sampling. I wish that music continued. Why did we lose the music? It's such chill music. Restart the music. Oh, we can watch the animation again. Next week in 201, we'll be doing sample methods. And here's some really good notes. For the sampling methods, it's very important that you use things like Quizlet. We'll talk about a random sample, a simple random sample, a stratified sample. Rocky Top, that's awesome. Congratulations, Rocky Top. Excellent work. Great job. It was really great Kahoot today. And so next week, Quizlet is a very important thing. If you use Quizlet, it'll be a huge help for understanding sampling methods. And then we should also have probability. We should do sampling and then probability. Test 2 has very little material on it. It's an easier test to study for. And I'll be putting out videos and all that good stuff. I should have the decision tree. Sorry, Charlie, I don't have the decision tree up yet. Rocky Top and Victoria, good competitors, shaking hands at the end. Good old Arnold. Dylan! I can't do a Dylan. It's from Predator. Someone knows Dylan. Dylan! Classic. But with that, any last questions? Email your questions until you probably got... No. Oh, this is Rocky Top's advice. Email you questions. No, I never get sick of questions. Ask all the questions. Doing the peer assignments ahead of time. Bingo. Reviewing Canvas content and quizzes. Exactly. So, excellent stuff. Awesome stuff right there. That is really good advice. Do them ahead of time. Practice. And the more questions you ask, the better. Please keep asking questions. Don't worry about, it was really neck and neck. And I think Alex was third. So really great competition, and definitely being in class and participating is really key too. I think I've noticed that Demi and where the Canvas content quiz today, for example, one. Yep. And I think, if you did great on the test, sharing your advice with other people, like, hey, if you watch these videos, or if you do this, if you do the My Pearson ahead of time and you practice, it usually goes a lot easier. I think you save yourself a lot of headache. It's tough sometimes. I know what it's like. I'm trying to put out a video today and I'm like, gotta get that video done. But that's why it's 32474. But I think that's got it. Any other last questions? Does anyone else have any last questions here before I head off? Any last questions about Stat 201, or if you're here for 32474, my Kahoot app wouldn't work today. That's so weird. But then you won, right? So did you do it on like the phone or the computer? But you won. That's awesome. Let's see what Mubot has to say. Mubot, what do you think of Mubot? Thank you, Andrew. Have a great weekend. Oh, he's quoting some Dune right there. Mubot is, or Mubot is super sweet. I don't even know what music I have Pokemon in here. I gotta watch out. We'll get hit with a copyright for that. No. There's no one should tell any students to go away. We're here to help out. I know I agree. Like I had one teacher in college who made me feel like I shouldn't ask questions. And that's the worst feeling in the world, when a teacher is like, don't ask questions. And so I feel bad. My hair's green in the back. I feel bad whenever I write a quick email, and I never want anyone to think that I'm being like, oh, here's a quick answer. Sometimes I'm just like going through emails, and I'll just be like, shh, and I'll just be like typing through like 4 or 5 emails. And I hope no one ever thinks I'm being like, that I'm ever bugged by an email. I would prefer people to email me and stay in contact, because that's how we communicate. That's how we learn. But with that, excellent work, everybody. Good job, Rocky Top. I'm going to head off here. Let's see. Let's do the Everything is Fine. We haven't seen the Everything is Fine in a while. World's burning anyway, so let's do it. Let's do Everything is Fine. Let's do it.